Good day, everyone. I am Ron Xavier Ariambot, together with Miss Daniela Alejandro, Miss Jeneline Padilla, and Mr. Timothy Ragaza. And today we will discuss the analysis of lifestyle satisfaction of combat sports enthusiasts, a PLS SEM approach. So here is the overview of the study. First, we will discuss the introduction, followed by literature review, methodology, results, discussion, conclusion, and recommendations. Introduction. Combat sports are a rapidly developing sport discipline that emphasizes technical proficiency and physical aptitude. It has been associated with competitive excellence among athletes who practice disciplines such as judo, wrestling, karate, boxing, and mixed martial arts or MMA. In addition to its physical aspects, the role of combat sports in promoting psychological well-being is increasingly recognized, highlighting the multidimensional health benefits for individuals who engage in them. The interdisciplinary discussion between physical activity and health highlights their importance in combat sports, particularly in relation to strategic physical conditioning, psychological well being, training commitment, and emotional regulation. Motivation also plays a crucial role in combat sports as it drives individuals to remain persistent in the physical and mentally demanding disciplines. Motivations can be categorized into subgroups such as psychological, mental, and social motivations, which each plays a distinct role in human behavior. Psychological motivations are from intrinsic needs that are essential for personal growth and well being, which are crucial for goal oriented behaviors. Meanwhile, mental motivations are influenced by cognitive and emotional factors, including emotional well being, that are essential for sports engagement. Lastly, social motivations refer to the interplay between individual and collective outcomes that are shaped by social contexts influencing behavior. In relation to this, motivation and psychological well-being have a significant influence on an athlete's performance and overall life satisfaction. Motivation enhances emotional states and social relationships in combat sports, underscoring the importance of motivation in improving athletes' psychological well-being. The interconnectedness of psychological well-being, training commitment, and social support influences the overall life satisfaction of combat sports enthusiasts. First, psychological well-being encompasses the emotional health that affects life satisfaction. For social support, particularly from friends and family, the assistance, encouragement, and understanding that individuals receive from their social networks have a positive impact on life satisfaction. Lastly, an athlete's training commitment to their sport represents their dedication to maintaining discipline in their goals, which in turn influences their life satisfaction. Despite the growing interest in the psychological aspects of sports, research on lifestyle satisfaction among combat sports athletes remains limited. This lack of focus limits the understanding of life satisfaction analysis in combat sports. Yet, the physical nature of competitions in combat sports emphasizes the need for analysis of physical, mental, and emotional control among athletes. Moreover, combat sports athletes face psychological burdens during competitions which impact their mental and emotional health, which turns out to affect their lifestyle satisfaction. This study aims to analyze the life satisfaction of combat sports athletes and explore its relationship with their motivation, psychological well being, training commitment, and social support. It explores the experiences of combat sports athletes to provide a comprehensive understanding of factors that contribute to overall satisfaction and athletic performance, assess the influence of psychological well being, training commitment, and social support on the physical, emotional, and mental well being of athletes participating in combat sports. Structural equation modeling was employed in this study to examine the causal relationships among the variables. This study aims to deepen the understanding of the multidimensional relationship between physical activity, psychological well being, and lifestyle satisfaction.
Good day, everyone. For Chapter 2, we will discuss the literature review and conceptual framework of our study titled Analysis of Lifestyle Satisfaction of Combat Sports Enthusiasts, a PLSM approach. So, this chapter focuses on the relationships among five main constructs. It includes motivational factors, psychological well being, training commitment, social support, and lifestyle satisfaction. So, based on the reviewed literature, we developed eight hypotheses that explore how these constructs are interconnected. The relationships are summarized in our conceptual framework in Table 1, which shows the supporting studies for each hypothesis. Now let's go on with Table 1. So, starting with motivational factors, we explored how personal development, health and fitness, psychological coping, self respect and identity, and recognition and status affect psychological well being. According to Moore, Moreno Montero et al. And Bobinet et al., personal development through self improvement and transformation enhances psychological well being by fostering purpose, competence, and mastery. For health and fitness, White et al., Mahindru et al., and Granero Jimenez et al. Found that regular physical activity improves mood, builds self esteem, and enhances social connections, which lead to better psychological well being. In terms of psychological coping, Pujati and Komarudin, Cesarelia et al., and Azmi emphasized that individuals who manage stress effectively and maintain emotional balance exhibit stronger resilience and better psychological health. For self respect and identity, Lee, Sharma and Burke and Servan highlighted that having a clear sense of identity and self worth leads to confidence, happiness, and emotional stability, all of which enhance psychological well being. Lastly, recognition and status were discussed by Rudin et al., Hierden and Niker, and Vidal. So their studies indicate that acknowledgement, prestige, and social comparison can influence one's well being by fulfilling the need for respect and belonging. These five areas formed our first five hypotheses, all linking motivational factors to psychological well being. Now, for the second part of our review, it focuses on how psychological well being, training commitment, and social support influence lifestyle satisfaction. So, according to Kotarska et al., Healy et al., and Matilda et al., individuals with higher psychological well being demonstrate greater emotional control, self esteem, and overall life satisfaction. This supports our hypothesis that psychological well being directly enhances lifestyle satisfaction. For training commitment, Han and Polat, Doan et al., and Saraswati et al. Found that consistent training strengthens self discipline, confidence, and motivation, all of which positively affect life satisfaction. Lastly, social support was emphasized by Kui, Park, and Wu et al. So their research shows that encouragement from family, friends, and peers fosters hope, reduces depressive symptoms, and improves overall satisfaction with life. These findings form our final three hypotheses, which connect psychological well being, training commitment, and social support to lifestyle satisfaction.
Methodology. First, we will discuss the participants. The questionnaire were disseminated virtually using Google Forms. A total of 300 respondents, each between under 18 and 55 years old and above, responded to the online questionnaire. Table 1 shows the demographics among the respondents. There were 7.3% responses from under 18 years old, 28.7% responses from 18 to 24 years old, 22% responses from 25 to 34 years old, 13% responses from 35 to 44 years old, 15.3% responses from 45 to 54 years old, and 13.7% responses from 55 years old and above. Among the respondents, 50.7% were male and 49.3% were female. Most of the respondents' primary combat sports were mixed martial arts with 16%, followed by boxing at 15.3%, taekwondo at 13.3%, karate kickboxing and Muay Thai at 10%, wrestling at 9.7%, and Jiu-Jitsu at 8.3%. They have been engaging in combat sports for 1 to 3 years in 32.7% of the responses, less than a year in 27%, 7 years or more in 24.7%, and 4 to 6 years in 15.7%. Their training frequency per week was 1.1 to 2 times with 38.7%, 3 to 4 times with 36%, and 5 times or more with 25.3%. Their current competitive level or training status was recreational with 40.3% of the responses, professional with 32.7%, and amateur with 27%. Lastly, their training setting were mostly in a gym with 29.7% of the responses, home with 25.7%, a martial arts academy with 22.7%, and a school or university with 22%. Moving on to the questionnaires, following the conceptual framework in Figure 1, constructs were adopted to form a self-administered questionnaire to analyze the life satisfaction of combat sports athletes and explore its relationship with their motivation, psychological well-being, training commitment, and social support. The questionnaire consisted of 11 sections. First is the respondent's consent, followed by respondent's demographic profile, personal development, health and fitness, psychological coping, self-respect and identity, recognition and status, psychological well-being, training and commitment, social support, and lifestyle satisfaction. A 5-point Likert scale was used for structural equation modeling. For statistical analysis, the statistical model utilized in the study is the structural equation modeling, or SEM. This was utilized to measure the causal relationship of the constructs of the framework. SEM specializes in the behavioral and social sciences. Thus, this study employed SEM to analyze the life satisfaction of combat sport athletes and explore its relationship with their motivation, psychological well being, training commitment, and social support.
Now we'll move on to the findings of the study, beginning with the results of the SEM. So as you can see on the diagram, we started by testing all 8 proposed hypotheses between our motivational constructs and the well-being of combat sports enthusiasts, outcome through the PLSM. However, after the initial run, we identified 2 paths that failed to reach a predetermined significance level of zero point 0.1 and above. Specifically, the path from personal development to psychological well-being showed a p-value of 0.013, and the path of recognition and status had a p-value of 0.061. So after that, we removed these 2 non-significant paths to ensure the integrity of the final model. So before confirming the final model, we need to establish that our measurements are good. So in this table, it presents the data of reliability and validity, showing good results in all and every construct, exceeding the recommended thresholds for reliability after conducting the final run in PLSM. For Gunbox Alpha, all constructs were above the 0.70 threshold, indicating acceptable internal consistency, and all constructs were also above the 0.80 threshold for composite reliability, which shows strong internal reliability for all the constructs. While for the average variance extracted, all the constructs also surpassed the 0.50 threshold, indicating that all measurements are reliable for the final run. In this slide shows the final SEM model. So after removing the 2 non-significant paths identified earlier, all remaining paths shown here are statistically significantly greater than the p-value of less than 0.05. This improvement not only proves up the final model, but also results in stronger overall model fit for the study. In this slide, it shows the Fornal-Larker criterion and the model fit after the final run was conducted, and it achieved an excellent result across the primary indices in the analysis. The SRMR value obtained a value of 0.060, which is significantly lower than the required threshold of 0.09, indicating a strong fit. Additionally, the NFI reached a value of 0.902, confirming that the final model adheres to all statistical thresholds necessary for global fit in the PLSM. Furthermore, the discriminant validity was established through the Fornal-Larker criterion, as the findings showed that the square root of the average variance extracted for each construct denoted prominently on the diagonal values, which surpass its correlations with other constructs. This confirms that all the constructs uphold the standard set for discriminant validity. So, in summary, this shows that the model is robust and reliable in its measures, confirming its statistical fit with confidence in its validity.
Next is the discussion. Table 5 showed the summarized hypothesis result. With that, training and commitment shows the strongest positive effect on lifestyle satisfaction with a beta value of 0.487 with p less than 0.001. In simple terms, athletes who train consistently feel more fulfilled, confident, and disciplined in daily life. This tells us that a well placed, regular training routine meaningfully boosts overall life satisfaction. Next is self respect and identity to psychological well being with beta value of 0.324 and p value less than 0.001 means that a strong sense of self and identity significantly improves psychological well being. Athletes who know their values and see themselves positively tend to be more emotionally stable and resilient even under competitive pressure. Next is health and fitness to psychological well-being with beta value of 0.295 with p less than 0.001. Health and fitness also show a solid positive link to mental well-being, which means staying physically active supports better mood, energy, and self-esteem, confirming that consistent exercise is a foundation for both body and mind. Next, psychological coping has a significant effect to psychological well-being with beta value of 0.291 with p equals to 0.001. Effective coping skills significantly enhance psychological well-being when athletes manage stress through strategies such as mindfulness, emotion regulation, and problem solving, which means they handle pressure better and maintain mental balance. Next, social support has a significant effect to lifestyle satisfaction with with beta value is equals to 0.224 and P is less than 0.001, which means that social support has a meaningful positive effect on lifestyle satisfaction with encouragement from family, peers, and coaches fosters happiness and motivation and a strong sense of belonging in sport and life. Next is psychological well-being has a significant effect to lifestyle satisfaction with beta value of 0.203 and P is equals to 0.002. Psychological well-being directly improves lifestyle satisfaction, which put simply in that mentally healthy athletes reported to be more balanced, purposeful, and satisfying lives. Next, for the not significant, personal development to psychological well-being, which shows beta value of 0.013 and P less than 0.142, which resulted in not significant or not accepted. Personal development, however, is not a significant predictor of psychological well-being, which suggests that for combat sport for athletes, reflective self-improvement alone may not translate directly into better mental health compared to performance-focused goals. And lastly, for the recognition and status are also not significant to psychological well-being with a beta value of 0.061 and P is equals to 0.492, which means that external validation or prestige appears less important for mental health than intrinsic drivers like identity, coping, and daily training habits. In summary, the strongest levers are internal, consistent training, clear identity, physical fitness, effective coping, and social support. This drive psychological well-being and ultimately lifestyle satisfaction.
To conclude, this study examined the factors that influence lifestyle satisfaction among combat sports enthusiasts using structural equation modeling or SEM. Our model showed a good fit overall. The chi-square value was 1063.194, which is considered a good fit because it met the recommended threshold of being less than 5,000. Additionally, other fit indices supported our model. The SRMR was 0.060, which is below the threshold of 0.09, and the NFI was 0.777, exceeding the threshold of 0.70, indicating that the model explains the data well. Out of the eight hypotheses we tested, six were statistically supported. Training commitment emerged as the strongest predictor of lifestyle satisfaction, with a beta value of 0.487 and a p value less than 0.001. Self respect and identity, health and fitness, and psychological coping also significantly enhance psychological well being, with beta values ranging from 0.324 to 0.291 and p values below 0.001. In turn, psychological well being directly improved lifestyle satisfaction with a beta of 0.203 and a p value of 0.002. Social support similarly had a positive effect on lifestyle satisfaction with a beta of 0.224 and a p-value below 0.001. On the other hand, personal development and recognition and status did not show statistically significant effects, with p-values of 0.142 and 0.492 respectively. This indicates that external validation and social prestige do not necessarily contribute to mental health or overall satisfaction. Overall, these findings suggest that lifestyle satisfaction in combat sports is primarily driven by internal motivation, mental resilience, and social connection. A balanced and fulfilling life is achieved through consistent training, emotional stability, and strong support systems rather than by seeking external recognition.
Based on the findings of this study, several recommendations are proposed to improve both the lifestyle and satisfaction and mental well being of individuals engaged in combat sports. First, balanced and organized training programs should be developed. Coaches need to include rest periods, recovery, and mental conditioning to avoid burnout and keep athletes motivated. Second, psychological development programs are encouraged. Workshops on self respect, coping skills, stress management, and mindfulness can help athletes handle pressure and build emotional resilience. Third, a more integrated approach to fitness and wellness is recommended. Sports organizations may collaborate with nutritionists and psychologists to connect physical training with mental care. Fourth, support networks, including family, friends, and training communities, should be strengthened through mentorship and community events as they play a vital role in athlete satisfaction. Lastly, future researchers are encouraged to explore other motivational and emotional factors such as goal oriented, emotional intelligence, and burnout recovery to gain deeper insights into a long term well being. In summary, a combination of physical, psychological, and social support can lead to healthier, happier, and more fulfilled athletes in combat sports.
Thank you for listening to our study and have a nice day.